Jack Thompson had always been the rock of his family, successful, dependable, and strong. By day, he worked at a thriving tech company in the heart of Silicon Valley, hours spent in meetings and on conference calls, his mind racing with ideas to drive innovation. By night, he poured his energy into his home, where his wife, Lisa, and their two kids awaited. They lived a comfortable life. Jack's recent purchase, a brand new SUV for Lisa, was a symbol of his hard work and devotion. But life has a way of shattering illusions, and that foundation he prided himself on would soon tremble. It began subtly at first. Lisa had grown more distant, her late nights filled with unexplained meetings and hurried phone calls. Jack dismissed the nagging feeling of betrayal, believing in his heart that love would weather any storm. Their marriage felt solid, their commitment to their family unshakable. Or so he thought. The day of revelation struck like a lightning bolt. Jack discovered a slew of messages on Lisa's phone while searching for a lost charger. The contents bore an explicit intimacy that made his stomach churn. "Can't wait to be with you again tonight," one text read. The sender none other than Dave, a friend and colleague Jack had trusted implicitly. Rage replaced disbelief in an instant. The air in their home shifted, thick with unspoken words and seething emotions. Fueled by anger, Jack confronted Lisa the moment she came home. The confrontation was raw, unfiltered. Lisa's face blanched, her defenses melting away under Jack's piercing gaze. "It was supposed to be just a fling," she shrieked, as if that would soften the blow. Jack's heart raced, not just from betrayal, but from the visceral need for retribution. As the confrontation escalated, Jack's initial hurt morphed into a cold resolve. He would not just be a victim in this twisted game. "I'll make you regret this," he spat, a fire ignited in his belly. Their children were scattered in the background, confused and frightened. But the murky waters of adult betrayal had claimed the adults, drowning out any plea for calm. The next few weeks became a whirlwind of meticulous planning. Jack researched legal options, went through their joint accounts with a fine-tooth comb. The discovery of funds, siphoned off for their secret rendezvous, only fueled his vengeful spirit. She had used their resources to facilitate her deceit, a fact that cut deeper than the affair itself. With each passing day, Jack's transformation solidified. No longer the passive man who allowed others to dictate his fate, he became a studied warrior, preparing for a battle he never sought. He filed for divorce, ensuring that Lisa bore the brunt of the fallout from this betrayal. His attorney, a sharp woman with an unwavering focus, helped him navigate the corrosive waters of asset division, custody arrangements, and accusations of infidelity. For every betrayal, there would be financial ramifications. Every hidden expense was meticulously documented, a ticket to his own salvation. The social fallout began to ripple through their lives. Jack, once the admired husband and father, became the steadfast figure moving to reclaim his dignity in the eyes of friends and family alike. Lisa, on the other hand, found herself ostracized as whispers of her betrayal reached others. Words spread like wildfire, and soon Jack was the one receiving sympathy, his colleagues rallying around him while Lisa faced scrutiny and isolation. As the divorce proceedings heated up, Jack grew bolder. He revealed Lisa's affair to her close friends, ensuring that no one, especially the ever-smug Dave, would remain unscathed. Moments of public embarrassment punctuated their once amicable gatherings. Jack had made sure their intimate circle knew about Lisa's betrayal in real time, painting her in a stark light of deception. Invoking the help of mutual acquaintances to spread the word was as delicious as it was empowering. When Jack orchestrated a family gathering under the pretense of reconciliation, it became the stage for a spectacular blow to Lisa's shattered facade. In a crowded room, he presented irrefutable evidence, the messages, the photos, laying out her infidelity. The air crackled as friends fell silent, shifting their gazes between Jack and Lisa. The humiliation painted her face red, and for the first time she felt the sting of her choices. "I was just looking for excitement," she shouted defensively, but the crowd had already turned against her. Jack's heart raced, but this was a beautiful moment. He felt alive, righteous. "Excitement? You mean betrayal," he spat back, tasting the venom of poetic justice. Each cold, calculated glance from those once loyal to her underscored her unraveling, his triumph solidified. This was not just about the affair, it was about dismantling an empire built on deceit. Within weeks, the court process ensued. Jack, emotionally drained yet resolute, held steady amidst the legal battles. Their kids became pawns in the game, but he was committed to shielding them from the fallout while reclaiming his rightful stake in their future. Jack fought tooth and nail, standing firm that there would be repercussions for Lisa's betrayal. Custody arrangements in his favor, spousal support stripped down to nearly nothing. Ruined, Lisa found herself trapped within her own web of deceit, a now broken woman, facing public derision and personal isolation. The life she once cherished, wrapped in luxury and comfort, had been reduced to ashes. The house that had felt like a home now echoed with her mistakes, her confidence dashed. Dave, her dubious lover, hadn't proven so steadfast when the chips were down, leaving her stranded and broke, both financially and emotionally. As their final court date approached, Jack stood firm in the eye of the storm, refusing to relent. The jury of public opinion weighed heavily in his favor, and Lisa's world crumbled further. The courtroom, once a battleground for their family, now became the stage for her ultimate public humiliation. There, Jack announced the terms of the divorce with an unwavering voice. "This is about accountability. You don't get to ruin lives and walk away unscathed. You will pay for what you did to us." With those words, neatly packaged in the form of legal declarations, the final act of betrayal was dealt. As Lisa crumpled under the weight of her choices, Jack felt the catharsis wash over him, a stark reminder that some betrayals are unforgivable. He turned away from the ruins she had left behind, savoring the only victory that mattered, his own. No forgiveness would be extended. Some wounds do not heal. There was no road back for Lisa. "Goodbye, Lisa," he said quietly, the finality of his words cutting through the courtroom's tension like a knife. With that, Jack emerged, not just from within the wreckage of their marriage, but as a better man, one who could now claim his rightful place in the world. The days following the court's final judgment were bittersweet for Jack. He had secured everything he had aimed for: full custody of their children, an equitable division of assets, and a newfound sense of autonomy. Yet, amid this triumph, he felt the weight of the emotional scars left by Lisa's betrayal. The home they had built together felt alien now, a battleground stripped of its former warmth and comfort. While the legal victories were satisfying, the memories of laughter and shared dreams haunted him like restless ghosts. As Jack navigated life post-divorce, he drew closer to his children. They were the light in his life, and he was determined to show them that love, even when shattered, could still flourish. Their weekends became adventurous, filled with outings that painted smiles on their faces. Every moment was a reminder that he could rebuild what had been lost. He introduced them to new hobbies, took them hiking in the nearby hills, and crafted movie nights filled with laughter. These experiences created a new bond, one rooted in resilience and an unwavering commitment to their well-being. But for Lisa, life was spiraling into further chaos. With her reputation in tatters, she struggled to find her footing. The friends she once considered her closest allies had distanced themselves, unable to reconcile her actions with the woman they thought they knew. Many expressed disappointment, while others flat out turned their backs. Each whispered comment, each pitying glance, sank deeper into her consciousness, further drowning her in humiliation. Desperate and alone, Lisa turned to the only person left in her corner, Dave. She clung to him like a lifeline, hoping for reconciliation, but he was entirely uninterested. "You're toxic, Lisa," he said one night after she poured out her heart to him, tears streaming down her cheeks. "You need to pull yourself together. I can't be involved in this." Her heart shattered further as realization dawned that he had only been a fleeting thrill, not the anchor she needed. She had lost everything. her home, her family, and now her connection to the man who had once provided the illusion of excitement. In Jack's world, the winds of social justice blew favorably. His colleagues began to respect him more. The whispers of admiration were deafening as they rallied around his resilience. He became a figure of strength in the office, someone who rose from the ashes of betrayal to reclaim his life. The day he presented a significant project for the company, colleagues praised him not just for his professional acumen, but for his personal strength. In those moments, he embraced the gratifying reality that he had beaten the odds, an everyday man dismantling the illusions crafted by deceit. One evening, while organizing their living room, Jack stumbled onto photos from happier times. A mixture of nostalgia and pain washed over him. He saw laughter freeze in time, yet it felt like someone else's life. In the midst of this introspection, a thought crystallized within him. He needed to confront this pain head-on, not just for himself, but as a lesson for his children. They needed to know the truth about betrayal, the importance of integrity, and the power of self-respect. Determined to craft a narrative around their loss that was honest yet healing, he decided to write a book. It would serve two purposes: document his experiences to offer solace to others suffering from infidelity, and empower his children with knowledge as they grew. Jack poured his heart into not only his story, but also his insights on human relationships and the importance of loyalty. He titled it, From Ashes, A Journey of Betrayal and Redemption. As the book found its way into publications, readers began responding with stories of their own hurt, tying Jack's experiences to their own struggles with betrayal and heartbreak. The message struck a chord. Honesty and redemption are often found in the unlikeliest of places. Jack became a beacon for those who felt lost, encouraging his audience to embrace their authenticity rather than hide behind facades. Amidst this whirlwind, an unexpected encounter with Lisa became inevitable. One afternoon, while Jack was picking up groceries, he noticed her walking down the aisle, looking disheveled and hollow. The vibrancy she once exuded had vanished. For a fleeting moment, he was taken aback, a surge of emotions battling within him. He had seen her as a figure of strength, yet what stood before him was a ghost of her former self. "Jack," she called, her voice foreign to him now, layered with desperation. "Please, can we talk?" He felt a rush of anger, a fresh wave of the pain she had caused. But there was something else, a flicker of sympathy. Was it pity? Perhaps. "What is there left to say, Lisa?" he asked, steadying himself against the shopping cart, expecting her to reveal more of her justifications for the unimaginable. "I lost everything," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I thought I wanted excitement, but all I wanted was the life we built together." Her eyes glistened with unshed tears. "I was wrong." Jack took a moment to search for the right words. "You're right," he replied, his voice cold yet measured. "You weren't just wrong. You hurt this family. That doesn't just disappear with an apology." She stepped closer, vulnerability playing out across her face. "I realize what I lost. I understand my mistakes now more than ever." The sadness in her eyes was palpable, but Jack remained distant. "I've moved on, Lisa. I found a new purpose, a new life." Even saying it felt liberating. "You need to accept that your choices come with consequences. I won't allow you to disrupt the peace I've built." Her gaze fell to the floor, and Jack saw the spark he once knew extinguished. He could have offered forgiveness, but it felt hollow. There was no way to reclaim what had been lost. He turned to leave but paused, glancing back over his shoulder one last time. "I hope you find what you're looking for, but don't expect me there to catch you when you fall." He walked away, the sound of cartwheels squeaking against the linoleum floor echoing behind him. With each step, he felt a burden lift. Jack was no longer just a man betrayed. He was a force of nature prepared to forge his path, undeterred by past wounds. In that moment, he knew he had truly moved forward. He had reclaimed his life, built a legacy, and pledged never to look back. Some scars would never heal, but they served as reminders of his strength, resilience, and the uncompromising value of self-worth. The chaos Lisa had generated would not define him. Instead, it would fuel a future where he was free to thrive, an ordinary man who conquered the extraordinary battle for his life, one step at a time. As the days turned into weeks, Jack found himself invigorated by a renewed sense of purpose. The psychological weight he had carried for so long began to lift, giving way to personal clarity. His book reached wider audiences, resonating with many who found themselves in similar situations. With each letter he received from readers, sharing their stories of heartbreak and recovery, he realized the impact one person's journey could have on others. Gradually, he embraced the role of a mentor to those in his community facing relationship turmoil. He partnered with local support groups, sharing insights from his own experiences and imparting the lessons he had learned. Jack spoke candidly about the importance of setting boundaries, the harsh lessons of betrayal, and the strength that emerges from adversity. His narrative was no longer just about his infidelity, but transformed into a broader discourse on resilience and personal growth. His children, witnessing their father's transformation, began to embody a sense of confidence and understanding rarely seen in children their age. They sensed the shift in energy, the healing that unfolded in their once fractured family. Jack made it a point to involve them in his community outreach, teaching them empathy and the value of integrity. They accompanied him to workshops where they watched him inspire others, fostering an environment in which they learned to articulate their feelings and recognize the importance of emotional well-being. Meanwhile, Lisa's life continued its downward spiral. She attempted to reestablish a sense of normality, but the remnants of her actions lingered like a shadow. Jobs she had applied for turned into dead ends. Many employers were hesitant to bring her on board amid whispers of the past. Friends who once celebrated her turned away, unable to escape the stigma of betrayal. In a desperate bid for validation, Lisa attempted to rebuild her social media presence. She showcased curated images of what her life could look like: lavish vacations, glamorous outings, but behind the facade, she struggled to make ends meet. It was during one of Jack's outreach sessions that he ran into an old acquaintance of Lisa's. Confirming the inevitable, he learned that she had begun attending a local support group, seeking guidance to deal with her loneliness and regrets. Jack felt a twinge of sympathy, but it was fleeting. He had experienced his fair share of heartbreak, and while he acknowledged Lisa's pain, he also understood that retribution was essential for his own recovery. As the seasons changed, so too did the landscape of their separated lives. Jack continued to flourish in his career, having received recognition for the innovative solutions he offered to the company's technological advancements. The accolades he received underscored his grit and determination to rise above his past. He stood tall as a person who faced down adversity and emerged victorious, gaining respect from his peers and acknowledgement from industry leaders. Despite his busy schedule, Jack never allowed his life to become work-centric. He had made it a steadfast routine to spend quality time with his children, fostering an environment of openness and love. They often enjoyed camping trips in nearby national parks, bonding over campfire stories and cheesy s'mores. On one occasion, while roasting marshmallows, his daughter Ellie turned to him with wide, earnest eyes. "Dad," she began, hesitating as if weighing her words, "do you think Mom will ever come back?" The question hung in the air, weighted with the innocence of childhood and the sharp realities of adult decisions. Jack felt a pang in his chest, the turmoil of Lisa's actions flooding back, but he steadied himself for the moment. "Honey, some people make choices that hurt others, and sometimes those choices lead them to lose people who love them. But what if she's really sorry?" Ellie pressed, her brows knitted in concern. Jack took a deep breath. Recognizing a mistake is one step, but actions matter more. It's important to protect ourselves. This was a lesson that would carry its own weight as Ellie navigated her relationships in the future. He wanted her to understand that forgiveness doesn't always mean acceptance. It's okay to protect oneself against hurt. The conversation left him introspective, realizing that healing could be intertwined with letting go. Something he had yet to fully acknowledge, he decided to write a follow-up chapter in his book about moving beyond acceptance, exploring the dual nature of love and self-preservation, aiming to help both the heartbroken and the betrayers understand accountability. Around the same time, the winds shifted once again in Jack's life. At a local charity event he attended in support of mental health awareness, he met Laura, a fellow volunteer whose warmth and compassionate spirit immediately drew him in. Their conversations flowed easily, and before long, Jack found himself smiling more than he had in years. Sparks ignited between them, the kind that felt reminiscent of a first love, bright and hopeful. Yet, he approached this new connection cautiously, not wanting to rush into anything. Laura saw through the pain he carried, not trying to fix him, but encouraging him to share his experiences when he felt comfortable. Jack appreciated her patience and kindness, which felt like a balm to his still healing heart. They began to spend more time together enjoying shared interests, hiking, attending community events, and discussing their passions for social justice. This newfound relationship began to breathe life into Jack's world, allowing him to explore trust in a different light. But Lisa's specter was never entirely absent. One fateful afternoon, while Jack was helping his son Noah with a school project, he received a text message that turned his world upside down. Lisa wanted to meet. He felt anger and apprehension wash over him. The urge to confront her consumed him, but a part of him was curious about what she could possibly have to say after all this time. They agreed to meet at a nearby coffee shop, the setting filled with light yet heavy with unspoken words. The tension was palpable as Jack walked in, heart pulsing with a mixture of dread and anticipation. He spotted Lisa sitting alone, her appearance disheveled, but marked with resolve. The moment their eyes met, the memories of pain returned, his fists clenched involuntarily. "Jack," she greeted softly, her voice trembling slightly. "Thank you for coming." "I didn't have much choice, did I?" he replied, his tone harsher than he intended. Lisa sighed, searching for words. "I know I have no right to ask anything of you, but I wanted to apologize, truly. I've been going to therapy since you last saw me. It's been hard facing the person I've become." Seeing her vulnerable for the first time stirred something within him. "Apologies don't fix what you've broken, Lisa. You can't just ask for forgiveness and think that everything resets." "I know," she said, tears brimming in her eyes, "but what I did wasn't just about you. I hurt our children too, and I can never take that back. I lost everything, my family, my friends, and my dignity." Jack studied her, battling empathy and resentment. It was a delicate dance of emotions, each weighing heavily on his conscience. "And what do you expect me to do with this?" he asked, leaning in closer. "I want a chance to support our children, to be part of their lives again, but I understand if you never want to see me again. Just tell me how you feel," she said earnestly. Her raw honesty ignited a whirlwind of thoughts. After everything he had been through, how could he deny her? But could he truly trust her again? The tension between them was thick, a palpable force looking for release. "I don't know if I can trust you again, Lisa," he said finally, weighing his choice carefully. "You've hurt your family, and you need to understand that. I'm trying to build a life for our kids, one where they feel safe and loved. It will take more than just saying you're sorry." "I understand," she conceded, finally acknowledging the past's irreversibility. "I'm willing to do the work to prove it. Just think about it. I want my children back in my life." Jack nodded slowly, processing the gravity of her request. "We'll talk again, Lisa. But for now, my priority remains our children and their well-being." As they parted ways, he felt both a sense of closure and a complicated mix of emotions. The encounter represented an enormous leap toward forgiveness, albeit one not easily given. Life had a way of circling back, yet Jack wouldn't let it pull him under again. Instead, He'd navigate these waters with newfound resolve, equipped with patience and the wisdom learned through pain. Returning home that evening, Jack sat with Noah and Ellie, watching their laughter fill the room as they recounted tales of school days, a sharp contrast to the heartache that once threatened to drown their happiness. He huddled close to them, understanding that life's unpredictability was a passage to resilience, healing, and possibility. Each day could bring new challenges, but together, they would face them, united and unwavering. The journey ahead was uncertain, but he was ready to embrace it, armed with lessons learned and love rekindled. Jack's heart swelled with hope as he realized that this was not just about moving on from betrayal, but about forging a new path where love thrived, trust was rebuilt, and healing became a way of life. Not just for him, but for his children as well. Each day was a step forward, a reminder that closing one chapter often opens another. The sun set that evening, but its warmth lingered, illuminating the way to a future filled with promise, where Jack emerged not just as a survivor, but as a true champion of life's complexities. After that pivotal meeting with Lisa, Jack felt something shift within him. He'd spent so much time building walls around his heart, but now the possibility of forgiveness lingered in the air like a long-lost fragrance. While fury had once fueled his decisions, now a strange sense of calm enveloped him. It was time to prioritize not just his happiness, but the well-being of his children, who were the heartbeats of his life. He reflected on their conversations, what Lisa had shared, the cracks in her previously confident facade. The reality hit him. She was still their mother, despite the pain she'd caused, and his role as a father transcended anger and resentment. Jack concluded he must confront his feelings, not just for Lisa, but about the type of father he wanted to be. Random thoughts flooded his mind as he went about his evening routine, prepping dinner and planning their next outing as a family. Days turned into weeks, and he organized their weekend trips, each effectively distracting them from the tumult that had shadowed their family. On one crisp Saturday afternoon, Jack took the kids to a local carnival. The laughter of children, the vibrant colors, and the smell of cotton candy mingled to create an exhilarating atmosphere. Noah and Ellie ran ahead, faces lit with excitement, unburdened by the complexities of adult relationships. Amidst the joyous chaos, Jack noticed a familiar face across the playground. Laura, the supportive soul he had met during the charity event. She was volunteering her time, handing out balloons to children with a radiant smile that could light up the gloomiest of days. Intrigued, he waved her over, feeling an immediate warmth toward her presence. The children rushed to her side, and she knelt to their level, interacting seamlessly with them as if they'd known each other forever. "Wow, you all look like you're having the best time," Laura exclaimed, giving both Noah and Ellie bright balloons. Jack couldn't help but smile, watching the way Laura exhibited warmth and kindness. It was as if she had a natural gift for connecting with people, and her lightheartedness drew him in further. After letting the kids indulge in the carnival rides, he and Laura began talking while the children gallivanted about. "Looks like they're having a blast," she nodded towards the joyous scene unfolding before them. "Kids have an amazing capacity to find happiness, don't they?" "I've learned that from them daily," Jack replied with a chuckle. "They help remind me about enjoying life despite all the noise around us." Their chemistry was undeniable. There was an effortless connection that made the hours slip away unnoticed. Throughout the day, they shared stories, laughed over silly moments, and bonded over their shared commitment to helping others. Laura expressed admiration for Jack's courage in confronting his past. "It's incredible that you're allowing yourself to navigate those feelings," she said, her gaze steady and comforting. As they parted ways, Jack felt a rush of excitement. He had been careful to tread lightly in matters of the heart after everything that transpired with Lisa, but Laura felt different. She was kind yet fierce, a woman who had her own life experiences yet retained a zeal for new beginnings. He exchanged numbers with her, feeling an unexpected spark ignite, a sense of optimism he hadn't anticipated. With the carnival joy now replaced by the comfort of home, Jack tucked his children into bed and couldn't shake the thought of Laura away from his mind. Can people really change? He pondered as he sat in the quiet of his living room, sipping herbal tea. The children had brought him solace, yet the lingering sense of a shattered past still echoed in his heart. He realized that healing is not just about letting go, but also about opening oneself to new possibilities. As days turned into a week, Jack found himself texting Laura more frequently, sharing laughter and exploring deeper conversations. She, too, opened up about her life and the challenges that shaped who she was. A childhood marked by her parents' turbulent relationship, where love and loyalty stood juxtaposed against betrayal and disappointment. It was clear that both had endured their share of wounds, but each had surfaced with resilience. Feeling an inherent connection, they agreed to meet for dinner one evening. Jack chose a quaint Italian restaurant, renowned for its ambiance and delightful cuisine. He arrived early, cautious yet hopeful about where this journey might lead. Laura walked in and their eyes met. She wore a cheerful smile, radiating warmth that instantly eased his apprehension. Their conversation flowed effortlessly, a mixture of laughter and candid discussions that delved into their pasts. Jack found himself captivated by her intelligence and understanding. It felt refreshing to share space with someone who valued authenticity. As dinner progressed, they broached their histories delicately. Jack found solace in Laura's perspective of life. "I always believed that pain shapes us for the better," she said, her eyes sparkling under the dim lights. "Instead of seeing my parents' problems as failures, I view them as lessons I'm meant to learn from." Easier said than done, Jack chuckled, but her sentiment struck a chord. He realized he had been so consumed by anger over Lisa's betrayal that he had lost sight of what he could learn from it. "What do you think you've learned?" Laura asked, her gaze penetrating but gentle. He paused, allowing the question to sink deep into his consciousness. That love can be complicated. It can appear perfect, then fracture into chaos. But it also taught me about self-worth and knowing when to walk away from negativity, Jack shared, looking into the depths of her understanding eyes. The connection between them felt profound, as if their experiences interwove, supporting their emotional journeys. By the night's end, Jack found himself not just drawn to Laura, but cautiously trusting of where this new relationship could lead, a type of confidence he hadn't felt in years. The walls he'd built around his heart began to crumble, yielding to the warmth of vulnerability. As days morphed into weeks, Jack and Laura's connection blossomed. They explored galleries, strolled through botanical gardens, and attended workshops on parenting and emotional well-being together. Each interaction deepened their bond, revealing layers of understanding and acceptance that grew within them. Jack recognized that Laura wasn't just a distraction. She became a source of strength and encouragement. However, the past loomed like a specter, and Lisa's attempts to reconnect with their children never waned. She persistently showed up to group events where Jack and their kids attended, often bringing gifts and sharing stories that painted her in a benevolent light. Jack remained cautious about the level of engagement, knowing the importance of protecting his children from the turbulence of their past. One Saturday, Lisa's persistence culminated in a crucial encounter at a neighborhood gathering. As Jack mingled with friends, ensuring Ellie and Noah had a great time, he noticed Lisa engaging with them, narrating stories of adventures they'd shared before their family shattered. His heart clenched. He appreciated the value of a child's connection to a parent, but he was also fully aware of the dangers of rekindling lost trust. Approaching them, Jack caught Lisa in the middle of a tale, her laughter resonating like a hollow ring. "You remember the camping trip last summer?" she asked. "We had so much fun, didn't we?" "Mom," Ellie said sweetly. "I remember you didn't want to go camping," Jack intervened, sensing the need to redirect the narrative. "Let's focus on new experiences, Lisa. We can create happy memories without the need to revisit old tales," he said gently, locking eyes with her, but there was firmness in his tone. He refrained from implicating her past decisions while ensuring the children understood it was okay to love their mother, but also essential to navigate their new reality. Lisa shifted uneasily under his gaze, uncertainty creeping into her smile. "Of course, Jack. I just wanted them to see the joyful moments we had," she replied, though her voice trembled slightly. "Joy is found in the present, not the shadows of the past," he offered, hoping his words resonated deeply. Turning back to his children, he emphasized how they could define their happiness moving forward, regardless of the varying expressions of love. In that moment, amidst the lighthearted atmosphere of laughter and games, Jack witnessed a minor shift in Lisa. He realized that she too was grappling with her place in their family narrative. As she stepped back, prepared to acquiesce to the changes taking shape, Jack sensed that he carried the responsibility of maintaining boundaries that would protect not only his own heart, but also that of his children. The evening continued, buoyed by laughter and joy, and Jack felt a certain lightness in his heart. Moments later, as he and Laura bid farewell to their friends, he took a deep breath of relief. They had faced an unyielding storm and emerged stronger. As they walked to the car, Laura intertwined her fingers with his, her touch igniting a spark of warmth that grounded him. "You're doing well, Jack. It takes strength to navigate all of this," she said softly, her understanding gaze cutting through the layers of complexity he felt. "It's a journey, and I feel more empowered every day with you by my side," he admitted, grateful for her unwavering support. "You help me see possibilities rather than just pain." As he drove them back, Jack recognized that each day presented him with layers of growth yet undiscovered. Life had a way of evolving, even when it felt stagnant. With Laura, he could explore that evolution bravely, utilizing the lessons from a tangled past to mold a future where circumstance no longer controlled him. Embracing both the past and present meant stepping into a realm of freshness, an exploration of love undefined by betrayal, where trust could blossom again. Jack looked out at the receding sunset, vibrant colors painting the sky. It reminded him of resilience. Every day held potential for renewal, where possibilities could emerge from loss. He knew that no matter the challenges ahead, he would face them head-on, not just with the strength he had regained, but with the trust he was cultivating in himself and others. Jack was reborn into the life of endless opportunities, ready to embrace what each day might bring. With every turn, he felt increasingly alive, thrilled by the journey ahead, and in the soulful quiet of the night, he couldn't wait to explore it further. This was just the beginning. As autumn settled over the town, the landscape transformed into hues of gold and crimson, symbolizing the change that echoed in Jack's life. Each day felt like a breath of fresh air, one he hadn't realized he had been holding for so long. The engaged conversations with Laura deepened their companionship, woven together by honesty and understanding. This budding relationship filled a void he hadn't anticipated could exist again, and Jack began to perceive the world with newfound hope, yet shadows of the past still loomed. Lisa's attempts to reinsert herself into Jack's and their children's lives were relentless. She invited herself to school events, always eager to engage with friends and family, working hard to put on a facade of a doting mother. Jack tried to remain calm, instilling a sense of stability for Noah and Ellie amidst unpredictable behavior. But with each encounter, he became increasingly concerned about how Lisa's presence could distort their trust and comfort. One chilly Saturday afternoon, a school Halloween festival approached. Ellie was ecstatic, dreaming up costume ideas. Jack had landed on a whimsical unicorn, while Noah favored a classic superhero. As the school buzzed with excitement, Jack breathed a sigh of relief when Lisa announced she wouldn't attend. Her place in the spotlight could be left blank this time. He relished a simple day with his kids, free to let their imaginations run wild. But just as he settled into this ease, his phone buzzed unexpectedly. It was a text from Laura. "Hey, just checking in and wanted to know if you're free later for a walk. I could use some fresh air." Jack smiled at the invitation. "Absolutely. I'll bring the kids. We can all enjoy the festival together." He felt the pang of excitement bubbling within him, a chance to weave Laura into the tapestry of their lives as they shaped a new narrative together. As the afternoon unfolded, Jack watched his children explore games and activities. They giggled at face painting, joined the pumpkin patch, and devoured cotton candy, basking in the freedom of childhood. His eyes scanned the crowd, settling on Laura. She arrived bearing a basket filled with festive treats and smiles, immediately lighting up the area with her presence. "Wow, these look delicious," Noah exclaimed as Laura handed out festive cookies, each decorated with vibrant icing. "Those are some of my favorites. We'll have to share," she said cheerfully, crouching to their level, engaging effortlessly. As the festival continued, they ventured from game to game, with Jack enjoying how Laura interacted with the kids. She had a natural ability to connect, sharing silly jokes while making dates for the next event. Jack soaked in each moment, contemplating how different this experience felt from those sunken days spent with Lisa. In the midst of the laughter, a familiar silhouette approached across the festival grounds. Lisa, bearing a forced smile, accompanied by a timid friend. Jack's heart sank. He had expected her absence, a small, merciful grace for this event. But Lisa seemed determined to reclaim space, keen on crafting her image as the mother who belonged. "Hey, look who's here," she called out, her voice half sweetened, half edged. The energy around her seemed to shift as people turned to witness the scene unfold. Jack stood frozen momentarily. He felt his stomach twist. He tightened his hand around Laura's. "Just stay close," he whispered. Lisa approached with an exaggerated cheerfulness. "I didn't want to miss out on seeing the kids in their costumes," she announced, attempting to draw attention as she leaned down to Ellie, who stood visibly apprehensive. "Oh wow, look at my little unicorn." Desperation flared as Jack couldn't ignore her intentions. She had come to take back control, seeking validation from those watching. "They're really enjoying the day," he replied curtly, tilting his head, challenging her presence. "It's nice of you to drop by," Laura interjected, her voice steady and welcoming. "Hi, Lisa. It's great to see you here. The kids have been looking forward to this." A subtle shift occurred. Lisa's demeanor faltered, likely struggling to cope with the unexpected presence of Laura. There had been no pre-established script, no expectation that Jack would move on, that she would be presented with another woman walking through this terrain she once claimed as her own. Jack observed the internal battle, waiting for her reaction, hunger for validation filling the air between them. "Thanks, Laura," Lisa replied, her smile strained as she grasped for control. "I'm just making sure my children don't forget who their mother is." The challenge in her voice made it clear that her words were carefully constructed. Jack tried to maintain his composure. Being their mother involves being there for them, Lisa, in the here and now, not just showing up for appearances. The tension thickened. He felt a protective instinct rise as Lisa's eyes darkened with indignation. "And who are you to decide what's best for our kids?" Lisa shot back, clenching her fists. "Someone who has fought for their well-being every day since the day we separated," Jack replied, keeping his voice calm. The children sensed the change and moved closer, Ellie looking back and forth between their parents, confusion written across her face. Laura stepped between them, her demeanor unyielding yet empathetic. "This is about the kids enjoying their time, and I think we can all agree on that, right?" Jack admired her poise, and it took him a moment to appreciate the strength of her presence amid tension. "What matters here is our children, Lisa. We need to find ways to coexist peacefully." Lisa took a step back, an attempt to regain her composure. "I just wanted to be part of their lives again. I want them to see that I love them no matter what," she sputtered. But there was an underlying desperation, longing for acceptance, thwarted by recent realities. "Love isn't about control, Lisa. It's about honesty and being reliable," Jack asserted, still steering the conversation back on course. "You have to recognize that showing up means more than just being present." Before she could respond, a small group of spectators had started to gather around them, essentially turning the conversation into a spectacle. Jack felt a surge of anxiety as he realized they were not just parents anymore. They were players in a public narrative, one for which they had not rehearsed. "Let's step aside," Laura suggested, leading the way to a quieter corner of the carnival, away from prying eyes. Once they were out of earshot, Jack exhaled deeply, the interplay of emotions swirling inside him. He felt the familiar weight rise in his chest, uncertainty still lingering. He needed to regain control, but how? "I didn't want this to become a scene," he said, glancing at Laura for reassurance. "It's hard to navigate when the past overlaps like this," she responded softly, placing her hand on his arm. "You're showing great restraint. That's strength in itself." "Thanks," Jack murmured, grateful for her support. "I just want what's best for the kids. I want them to feel safe and happy." Laura nodded sincerely. "And they will. You're doing an incredible job. In your commitment to stay strong, you're exemplifying what love looks like." Before continuing their time at the carnival, Jack's resolve solidified. He would remain unwavering in supporting their new normal, whatever that may look like. Whether Lisa was in the picture or not, his priorities centered on ensuring Noah and Ellie thrived amidst all the chaos. As they approached the exit of the festival, laughter filled the air. Ellie and Noah raced ahead, clutching their treasure troves of sweets and memories. Jack exchanged hopeful glances with Laura, feeling renewed vigor as they stepped firmly into their own future together. Each moment of tension would shape their expectations, but Jack was ready to embrace the complexities of co-parenting, fiercely protecting both his children's innocence and the relationships that mattered. Despite the past spiraling into uncertainty, he envisioned a hopeful tomorrow, a world in which they could all grow, heal, and thrive. The path of forgiveness led to understanding, and Jack vowed to traverse it, his heart wide open, for the sake of his love, his children, and the life waiting to be embraced. As the weeks passed, Jack settled into a rhythm that felt both comforting and empowering. The residual tension from the Halloween festival dissipated as he and Lisa navigated their new boundaries. They began passing each other with respectful nods at school events, their interactions cordial but strictly business. Jack's focus remained on creating a nurturing environment for Ellie and Noah, and he felt resolutely committed to showing them that happiness was still within their reach. Laura continued to be a joyous presence in his life, gradually intertwining with Jack's family as she joined them on fall outings and served as a positive role model for the kids. She never tried to replace Lisa. Instead, her approach acknowledged the children's feelings and uncertainties, helping them understand the beauty of relationships while establishing her bonds with them. Jack watched with pride as Noah and Ellie warmed up to her. They adored her enthusiasm for family activities and how she made mundane errands feel like mini adventures. One crisp November Saturday, Jack planned a family excursion to a nearby pumpkin patch, knowing the fun would provide the kids a respite from school and a chance to indulge in seasonal festivities. He and Laura picked up the children early in the morning, excitement bubbling as they embarked on a fun-filled day. Laughter rang through the car, with the kids playing a game of I Spy, while Jack caught himself stealing glances at Laura. She was effortlessly charming, and the way she embraced each moment made it easy for him to forget the shadows of the past. Upon arriving at the patch, the scene was a kaleidoscope of color. The vibrant oranges, deep greens, and golden cornflakes of fall surrounded them. The scent of spices wafted through the air, a blend of cinnamon and nutmeg promising warm holiday treats ahead. He felt the essence of autumn wash over him. The world seemed alive, busy with families carving out memories, and he and Laura eagerly led the children to the entrance, where a variety of delightful activities awaited. "First, let's pick the best pumpkin," Laura cheered, her enthusiasm palpable. Ellie and Noah raced forward, confident in their mission. Jack watched them with a smile, admiring how uninhibited their joy was, instilling hope in him. As they searched for the perfect pumpkins, they stumbled upon a vibrant corn maze. Jack could hear shrieks of excitement emanating from the children as they dashed inside, confident that they would conquer the twisting paths. "Yo, you guys figure it out," Jack encouraged, laughing as he and Laura lingered outside, exchanging knowing smiles. "Remember when we used to get lost in mazes like this?" Laura asked, her eyes sparkling with shared nostalgia. "I swear I spent hours in there, trying to find my way out." "Somehow I managed to get out faster," Jack teased, gesturing to Laura's playful pout. Their playful banter deepened the bond they were building, making it clear that there was already a budding intimacy between them. Laura's laughter blended beautifully with the children's giggles as they finally emerged victorious from the maze, pumpkin in tow. As they made their way to the decorating station, Jack noticed a familiar shock of red hair across the patch. There stood Lisa, chatting animatedly with another parent, her cheerful demeanor a stark contrast to their last interaction. The unease rolled through him, but he quickly shook it off, determined to not let it affect the day. "Let's get decorating," he announced, redirecting focus back to his happy crew. They settled at the tables under vibrant canopies where eager adults and kids alike prepared to carve and paint their pumpkins. The laughter blended with the bustling background, creating a lively atmosphere that felt magical. Throughout the carving session, Jack's heart swelled as he watched the kids proudly showcase their artistry. Laura adeptly guided them, assisting with intricate designs on their pumpkins while sharing stories of her own childhood experiences. The warmth and ease with which Laura interacted with Noah and Ellie felt enriching. It was a blend of maternal warmth and friend-like playfulness. As the excitement peaked, Jack caught a glimpse of Lisa out of the corner of his eye, her presence still a pulsating reminder of the past, yet she remained at a distance. He let out a small sigh. It was a strain to disregard the remnants of their former life. Just then, Ellie turned to him with her bright, curious eyes. "Dad, can we decorate our pumpkins like a family?" she asked, an earnest request that tugged at his heartstrings. "Of course, sweetheart," he replied, eager to indulge her dream of having a perfect family moment, even if their reality was a bit more complex. As they gathered around their chosen pumpkins, Jack felt the spirit of togetherness blossom and momentarily dissolve the tension. Each stroke of paint and careful carving represented a small victory over the past, a collaborative effort to build their own narrative, one that honored their journey while recognizing the chaos that had preceded it. After they finished decorating, the kids bounded off to show off their creations, their enthusiasm infectious. Jack and Laura exchanged glances filled with warmth, each proud of how they navigated the day. Just as they were wrapping up their time at the pumpkin patch, an unexpected circumstances arrived. Lisa walked over. "Hey there, that looks fantastic," she exclaimed, gesturing toward the pumpkins, her smile wide but practiced. Jack held his breath, feeling the familiar tension creep into his chest, readying himself for whatever words might spill forth. "Thanks, Lisa," he replied politely, though his voice was clipped. "We've been having a great time." Moments ticked by awkwardly as they attempted to strike a balance of civility in their interaction, navigating the unspoken barriers created by their history. "I got some pumpkins, too," Lisa said, attempting to draw the children's attention. "Let's take a family picture," she declared, catching Jack off guard with her sudden enthusiasm. Jack hesitated, suddenly feeling cornered. Maybe it's better..." Ellie jumped in, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Yes, please, Dad." It was clear his daughter wanted this moment, a bridge to unity. Here they stood, their lives now braided with complexities, but the innocent joy of childhood rang louder than the discourse of their past. Realizing he had little choice, Jack sighed, his mind racing through what it meant for all of them. "All right, but let's make it quick." The moment was surreal as they positioned themselves together, Jack caught between the hopes of his children and the urgency of the present. As they posed, Lisa draped her arms around the kids, and Jack stood protectively at the back, feeling the blend of emotions swirl inside him. Click. Snap. The camera clicked, freezing the moment in time, a collage of feelings backed by uncertainty, hope, and the lingering specter of what had been. Looking over at Laura, she stood supportive, her expressions filled with encouragement beneath her warm smile. He knew that this bonding moment meant more than their past entangled in chaos. When the pictures were taken, Jack took a small breath of relief. The world hadn't ended, and the children would cherish yet another layer of memory woven into the fabric of their lives. As they walked away from the patch, hands entwined and laughter resounding, both Jack and Laura reveled in the small yet significant victory over the heavy weight of their respective pasts. Each step forward gradually led Jack away from the shadows, flowing toward brighter avenues. Returning home, Jack recognized his transformation. Through the chaos, he had managed to reshape his narrative while looking toward the future. A future flourishing with love and authenticity. And with Laura steadily by his side, he felt renewed hope that together they could navigate whatever life's next chapter held, embracing unpredictability while crafting their story anew. Despite the unpredictable nature of co-parenting, Jack was determined to stay firm in his vision for stability, approaching everything with compassion and patience. As he tucked his children into bed that night, a sense of comfort overwhelmed him. He knew he could nurture a space of growth, a place where wounds begin to heal, where laughter filled the air, painting over the fractures of the past with the colors of resilience, love, and a promising tomorrow. The weeks that followed the pumpkin patch incident seemed to flow with a renewed energy, a rhythm crafted from the delicate balance of co-parenting with Lisa and nurturing a budding relationship with Laura. Jack embraced the routine, cherishing the moments spent with Ellie and Noah as they reveled in the joys of childhood. With each passing day, he found healing in their laughter and began to dream of a brighter future. However, Lisa's resolve to remain involved in their lives became increasingly apparent. While Jack had hoped that their agreement to coexist peacefully would be respected, it seemed she had other plans. First, she reached out to him about attending Thanksgiving together as a family. He appreciated her intention, but felt a wave of apprehension flood through him. "Have you thought about it?" Laura asked one evening as they prepared dinner at Jack's house, steam rising from a pot of soup on the stove. The aroma filled the kitchen with warmth, but the prospect of sharing his holiday with Lisa left a chill running down his spine. "I don't know, Laura. It feels too soon," Jack admitted, peeling vegetables with a furrowed brow. "I want to provide stability for the kids, but I just don't know if having Lisa around for such a big event is a good idea." Laura moved beside him, her hands gently resting on the countertop, a kind look illuminating her face. "You're right to consider how it affects everyone involved, especially the kids. You're navigating a complex situation, but ultimately, it's about finding a balance that honors their needs." "You think it would actually work?" Jack mused, swirling the knife through the vegetables. "What if it turns into another one of those awkward scenarios where Lisa oversteps or tries to undermine everything I've worked for?" "I think you should have an honest conversation with her about it beforehand," Laura suggested gently. "Establish boundaries for the day, so everyone understands expectations. Be upfront about what you're comfortable with." Jack nodded thoughtfully, feeling reassured by Laura's perspective. "You're right," he conceded. It's worth a shot. As long as I keep my guard up to protect the kids, we can try to make it a positive experience." The following day, he reached out to Lisa, crafting a carefully worded text that broached Thanksgiving in the spirit of collaboration. "Hey, Lisa, I've been thinking about Thanksgiving. If you'd like to join us, we can talk about what that might look like." He held his breath, waiting for her response. When the notification chimed, he opened it to see a reply just minutes later. "I think that's a great idea. Let's discuss how we can make it a comfortable day for the kids. Looking forward to it." Feeling a wave of apprehension mixed with approval, Jack couldn't help but wonder if they had truly entered a new chapter, one with mutual respect rather than animosity. He arranged to meet Lisa later to solidify plans. When they met at a local coffee shop, the atmosphere felt markedly different from their past encounters. Jack steeled himself for the conversation, intrigued to see how Lisa had processed their journey since their separation. "Thanks for meeting," he said, sliding into a booth across from her. "I know this won't be easy, but I really want the kids to enjoy the day together." "Me too," Lisa affirmed, rubbing her hands together nervously. "I've been thinking about how hard this has been on all of us, especially them. I just want to be involved without making anyone uncomfortable." Jack sat forward, eager to establish the groundwork. "That's the goal here. I think it's important we communicate what we both need for the day. I want this holiday to be fun for them, and I think that starts with maintaining boundaries. Of course, she said, nodding earnestly. I can respect that. I'd love to help with preparations and contribute to the meal. I want them to see that I'm still their mom and care about their happiness. The conversation flowed more smoothly than anticipated. They discussed how to divide responsibilities, from the turkey to the sides, ensuring that both parties felt invested in the day. Jack found himself almost surprised at Lisa's willingness to collaborate. Perhaps rebuilding trust was underway, paving the way for a healthier environment for their children. As Thanksgiving approached, Jack began to feel a mix of excitement and nerves. Laura was invited to join them, but he sensed the weight of her presence would be essential in guiding the day's dynamics. He shared this with her as they chopped vegetables together in the kitchen on Thanksgiving morning, the smell of herbs beginning to fill the house. I think we're in a better place than I anticipated, Jack said, wiping his hands on a towel and leaning against the counter. Lisa really seemed committed to making it work for the kids. I'm glad to hear that, Laura replied, smiling. This is a big step, and you're doing an incredible job keeping the focus on what matters most. I'll be here to support you however you need. Once the doors opened to the guests, the day unfolded with a mixture of camaraderie and tension. Lessa arrived early with armfuls of dishes, wearing a bright smile that was tinged with apprehension. Ellie and Noah rushed to her, their faces lighting up with delight. Watching their reunion tugged at Jack's heart. Despite the changes, there was still an undeniable connection between Lisa and the children. As the afternoon progressed, Jack successfully navigated conversations between Laura and Lisa, facilitating a balance that honored each role. They all sat around the table, and as they dug into the delicious spread, conversation flowed with warmth, highlighted by laughter that floated through the air. But just as Jack began to relax, he couldn't shake a nagging feeling of uncertainty. There was a moment, a fleeting glance, exchanged between Lisa and Laura, when they both reached for the salt, that sent a ripple of tension through him. Realizing the reality of both women's significance in his life, Jack became acutely aware of the thin line they were walking, and suddenly, the dinner felt precarious. After the meal, as cups of steaming pumpkin spice lattes circulated, Jack proposed a toast. To family, new beginnings, and the strength to create a brighter future together, he said, hoping the words would resonate. Cheers, they all echoed, glasses clinking, and Jack felt a small smile settle on his face. He chose to focus on the progress made, the potential shining through in their new family dynamic. Even after dinner, as they moved into the family room for dessert, the mood lightened. Jack watched all three of them, Laura, Ellie, and Noah, engaged in conversation, animated laughter swirling around them. In those moments, he saw hope transcending past adversity, a manifestation of potential healing, as the warmth between everyone began to lighten the weight he'd carried for so long. That evening, as guests departed and the remnants of the holiday lingered in the air, Lisa approached Jack, her demeanor softer. I just wanted to say thank you for letting me be part of today, she said, her voice earnest. It meant a lot to me, and I hope this can be the start of something new. He felt a wave of empathy wash over him. Jack had never imagined they could find a place where they could genuinely coexist. I'm glad you were here, Lisa. Our kids deserve to have all the love possible, and that includes you, he said, his words rooted in authenticity. As the door closed behind her, Jack turned to look at Laura, who had been observing quietly. What do you think? He asked, curiosity colored by self-reflection. I think you handled that beautifully, she responded, her voice filled with encouragement. It's meaningful to see how you're navigating this new chapter with grace. With newfound confidence, Jack felt a profound sense of relief. While their journey remained complex, the lessons they had learned and the healing they had forged together were providing him with the strength necessary to maintain the peace. He turned toward Laura, his feelings burgeoning within him like fresh roots in spring soil. I couldn't have done this without you, Jack admitted, his voice low, intimate. Her expression softened, and for the first time, he felt the weight of something deeper than companionship blossoming between them. He moved closer, searching her gaze. I value what we have so much. Laura's smile grew, a radiance that sent warmth flooding through him. So do I, she said softly. In that moment, Jack realized that extending love and compassion to one another, even when mired in complicated situations, remained the strongest foundation they could lay. The journey ahead still held uncertainties, yet the possibility of forging a path that embraced forgiveness and connection excited him in ways that felt completely new. Together, they would weather whatever came next, crafting memories layered with hope as they built a life infused with love, a life he once thought was lost, now brimming with potential. With lingering warmth from the holiday wrapping around them, Jack recognized that he wasn't just haunted by what could have been. He was propelled forward, ready to bloom anew. Together with Laura and Ellie and Noah, he was creating a future he could not only embrace, but cherish deeply, one filled with compassion, acceptance, and boundless joy. As the winter months settled in, Jack found himself embracing the changes in his life with newfound vigor. The Thanksgiving holiday had opened a door to possibility, igniting hope for a harmonious future, not only for himself, but for Ellie and Noah as well. The routine of their home life began to stabilize, and Jack reveled in the warmth and companionship that had blossomed, particularly with Laura, who had become an integral part of their family dynamic. With the holidays around the corner, Jack made a conscious effort to blend traditions from both his and Lisa's past into their celebrations. They decorated the house together, stringing lights around the living room and setting up a tree that filled the air with the scent of pine. Ellie and Noah excitedly selected ornaments, each one carrying a unique story from past years, crafting a narrative filled with laughter and love. "This one was from the year I played the Grinch in our school play," Ellie exclaimed, holding up a whimsical green ornament with a painted grin. Noah chimed in, "And I decorated this one during art camp." "Wow, we've made a lot of memories." Their excitement was infectious, and Jack's heart swelled with pride, realizing that they were creating new memories without the weight of the past overshadowing them. Yet, as Christmas approached, Jack knew he had to confront the situation with Lisa once again. Despite their amicable arrangements during Thanksgiving, he received numerous texts from her, alternating between cheerful inquiries about their family traditions and subtle reminders of her role as their mother. While he appreciated her efforts, he also sensed an undercurrent of desire to reclaim control. One evening, he sat with Laura, discussing the need to set clear boundaries for their upcoming Christmas celebration. "I feel like Lisa is edging closer to trying to cross lines again. I want to keep things healthy for the kids. I think it's time I have another talk with her," he said, tension creeping into his voice. Laura nodded thoughtfully, her eyes serious, yet supportive. "Absolutely. It's about making sure the kids feel secure. You know, it's okay to establish boundaries that protect their mental space. And yours, too." The discussion sparked something within Jack, a determination to carve out a space where they could all collectively thrive. "Hey, I'll invite her to discuss it before we finalize any plans," he decided, feeling that this proactive approach might ease any potential conflicts. The next day, he reached out to Lisa. "Hey, can we talk about Christmas? It's important to me that we establish how this day will unfold so that it remains a positive experience for the kids." He hit send and waited, the message hanging in the air like a pendulum ticking down the seconds. To his surprise, Lisa responded promptly, suggesting they meet at a coffee shop. When they met, there was a strange uneasiness that enveloped their conversation as his heart raced with memories of previous encounters filled with tension. "Thanks for agreeing to meet," Jack began, firmly yet politely. "I want to ensure that our Christmas celebration prioritizes the kids' well-being while keeping things straightforward. Our main focus should be their comfort and joy." Lisa nodded, her expression earnest. "I completely understand, and I appreciate that you're being open about this. They're our priority. I want them to enjoy the day without any complications between us." Jack felt a flicker of hope ignite inside him. "Exactly. So I think it would be best for us to plan a shared holiday celebration, but let's set boundaries on where we stand too. I want to make sure when we're together it doesn't feel like a tug of war over our roles." Lisa sighed, visibly wrestling with her emotions before nodding. "I can respect that, Jack. The last thing I want is to create more confusion for them. Maybe we can collaborate on decorations and activities." As the conversation progressed, an unexpected openness emerged, allowing them to outline respective areas of involvement. Jack emphasized to Lisa that he would handle the bulk of their household festivities, but that she was welcome to join in specific parts, including Christmas dinner. In return, he asked her not to disrupt the kids' routine too much with any sudden surprises, maintaining structure and balance in their lives. When they reached a mutual understanding, Jack felt as though a weight had lifted. It wasn't just the agreement, but the possibility of building new, healthy dynamics that inspired him. The path forward allowed them to co-parent with a focus on the children rather than their past grievances. The days leading up to Christmas filled Jack with anticipation. The house transformed into a winter wonderland, with decorations symbolizing shared joy. While working on the tree, he noticed how beautifully Laura engaged with the kids, intertwining her warmth with the fabric of their family traditions. She helped them bake cookies, each batch greeted with delightful giggles and flower fights, leaving the kitchen dusted in powdered sugar, a testament to a day well spent. Laura stepped into the role effortlessly, embodying a gentle spirit that brought peace to their newly blended family. Jack observed as Noah and Ellie often turned to her, starting to carve out their own special bond with her, a camaraderie that offered him a sense of exhilaration. On Christmas Eve, they all settled down, faces illuminated by soft golden lights as they curled up around the fireplace. Jack read holiday stories, sharing tales that would instill a sense of wonder in their hearts. Each laugh, each smile, felt like a powerful affirmation of their collective growth, shifting the atmosphere away from the remnants of heartbreak toward a future alive with possibility. As the clock struck midnight, the air filled with the spirit of giving and joy. Jack glanced at Laura, who beamed back at him. The darkness of uncertainty slowly crept away, replaced with the warmth of love blossoming in their lives. They were crafting a destiny together, inspired by their children's laughter and the memories they were creating anew. On Christmas morning, the children rushed down the stairs, so excited about the gifts beneath the tree that they could barely contain their eagerness. Jack chuckled at the sight, their delight resonating through the house, smoothing away any lingering doubts he had about their evolving family. When Lisa arrived for brunch, she brought a platter of snacks, traded pleasantries with caution, yet managed to connect with the children's anticipation. The morning unfolded seamlessly as laughter reverberated, and Jack kept the atmosphere light while ensuring the children felt cherished. As they gathered around the table, Jack raised a glass of cider. "To family, love, and new beginnings," he toasted, the sentiment echoing through everyone present. The words carried a weight of meaning, their shared histories merging into a common path forward. After brunch, they migrated to the living room for gift exchanges. Jack observed the way Lisa smiled at the thoughtful gifts set aside for the kids, showcasing her intentions to remain an involved mother. When Ellie handed Lisa a handmade card she had crafted, Jack felt a swell of pride at his daughter's creativity, already grounded in compassion. "Thank you, sweetheart. This means the world to me," Lisa replied, her voice warm with sincerity. Jack could see a flicker of reconciliation and gratitude flash in her eyes. Perhaps today marked not only a time for celebration, but a chance to embrace the complexities of their present. As the hours drifted past, Jack lingered on the small victories that had solidified over the day. There was laughter. There was joy. The children moved positively between their parents, embracing each moment as it was presented. As the sun began to set on Christmas Day, Jack found himself with Laura alone in the kitchen, tidying up the remnants of their celebration. "That went better than I expected," he noted, feeling the soft warmth of satisfaction spread through him. Laura smiled, her eyes sparkling with genuine happiness. "You set a wonderful tone for the day, Jack. It truly set the stage for a peaceful celebration." "We can do this," Jack said, newfound confidence surging within him. "I know it won't be easy, but I see a way forward that prioritizes healing for all of us." "I believe that too," Laura affirmed, standing close, their hands brushing against one another, an unspoken promise lingering in the air. In that moment, Jack felt a surge of hope and clarity wash over him. This was just the beginning of embracing a future defined by resilience, support, and love in its many forms. They were sowing the seeds for a family willing to grow, thrive, and share their hearts openly, one step at a time, united in purpose and buoyed by the laughter and joy that filled their lives. As they finished tidying up and prepared to cozy up for the evening, Jack stole a glance at Laura. Perhaps this year's holiday would set the tone for not just their family, but for creating a commitment to cherishing the journey ahead, a future that shimmered with the promise of endless possibilities. As January rolled in, the festive cheer of the holidays gradually transformed into cozy routines. Jack marveled at how the warmth of the season lingered within their home, bringing with it a sense of stability and renewed hope for the future. Having navigated Thanksgiving and Christmas with newfound unity, he felt optimistic about employing the same spirit of collaboration throughout the new year. Jack and Laura settled into a rhythm that balanced their lives as co-parents. They began to discuss their own future more openly, leading to deeper conversations about values, dreams, and the kind of family they wanted to create. He appreciated Laura's willingness to take things step by step, allowing their bond to grow organically amidst life's chaos. "Can you believe how quickly the kids adapt?" Laura said one evening as they shared a quiet dinner of pasta and garlic bread. "It feels like they're enjoying this, and you can see the happiness in their faces." Jack nodded, his heart swelling with pride, the joy of watching his children flourish evident in his eyes. "They deserve all the warmth and love we can give them," he replied. "I see so much joy in their little moments, a sense of safety that I didn't think we could nurture after everything." As the weeks progressed, Jack began to implement new family traditions. One Saturday morning, he proposed a weekly family night where they would engage in activities together: game nights, movie marathons, or even themed dinners. The idea was met with enthusiastic approvals, each child bubbling with excitement at the thought of shared experiences. Laura joined in eagerly, helping to plan the evenings, while dazzling everyone with her culinary skills. She agreed to lead the first themed family night, turning their kitchen into a miniature Italian trattoria. As the children donned chef hats and aprons, they laughed and twirled dough, creating personalized pizzas that reflected their artistic whims. Jack captured those spontaneous moments, enjoying the thrill of their eclectic madcap creativity. "Look, Dad, mine's the biggest," Ellie exclaimed, grinning ear to ear as she presented a lopsided, generously topped pizza. Noah, not to be outdone, flaunted a pizza resembling a superhero logo. Jack chuckled, a feeling of complete happiness flooding through him as he snapped a picture to commemorate the laughter of the evening. "All right, chefs," Jack called out, gathering everyone around the table. "Time to see who made the best pizza." As they sat down to enjoy their creations, filled with laughter and banter, the atmosphere felt like a haven of joy, one built from trust, shared laughter, and encouragement. It became increasingly evident how deeply Laura resonated with their family dynamic. The kids adored her, their connection blossoming in ways that were genuinely beautiful. With the new year upon them, Jack decided to address the impending challenges of coping with shared custody. The notion of dual families had its complexities, and he recognized that clear communication would be essential. Thus, he reached out to Lisa once more, suggesting a casual coffee meeting to discuss their evolving approach to parenting, helping forge a better path for all involved. "Lisa," Jack began, meeting her at a cozy cafe near the children's school, where warm light filtered through the window. "I think we need to establish solid communication now that we're shifting into new routines. It's vital for the kids to know that you and I are on the same page." Lisa nodded, her demeanor more open and thoughtful than in previous encounters. "I completely agree. I think learning how to better manage our family's dynamics will benefit everyone." As they conversed, Jack felt a flicker of hope grow within him. Lisa appeared genuinely committed to setting aside past grievances. They discussed how they could reinforce consistency between their households and create nurturing environments that model respect and encouragement. "I want you to know that I'll always support you as their mother," Jack reassured her, "but it's crucial for us to be aligned for their sake. You're an important part of their lives, and they need to feel that love from both of us." Lisa smiled, her visual sincerity softening his guarded heart. "Thank you, Jack. That means a lot. I'm committed to co-parenting positively, and I want them to thrive." As the weeks turned into a rhythm of established routines, Jack grew more confident in addressing difficulties as a united front. Family night continued as a cherished tradition, and with every passing event, he saw how each activity knitted them closer together. Laura found her place seamlessly intertwined with their lives, truly completing their family unit. Despite the peaceful atmosphere, challenges occasionally emerged, especially when balancing the logistics of two households. There were moments of frustration from fluctuating schedules, or the kids expressing a desire to spend more time at one house over the other. These instances reminded Jack of the delicate equilibrium they had to maintain, but he approached each situation with patience and clarity, adapting as necessary. It was during one of those family nights that the true power of their collaboration emerged. Jack had organized a trivia game that included categories ranging from the kids' favorite shows to fun facts about their hometown. The competitive spirit sparked laughter and celebration as questions bounced around the table. One particular round focused on fun anecdotes from their past, reigniting nostalgia interspersed with playful banter. Jack was amazed to witness how both Lisa's stories and Laura's contributions complemented one another, weaving a rich tapestry of shared experiences that satisfied parents and ignited lively conversations. At one point in the game, Noah leaned forward and exclaimed, "Hey, remember that time Mom lost the board game because she couldn't count right?" Jack felt both joy and apprehension at the shared history, but Lisa laughed heartily. "In my defense, the counting was rigged. But I was still the best at all the other games," she countered with playful sarcasm. With the laughter that erupted, Jack saw the shift in dynamics take place. Moments that showcased acceptance and genuine camaraderie among them all filled the room. The children laughed uncontrollably, leaving Jack feeling hopeful that all wounds in time might heal. As winter melted into spring, Jack found himself planning a family trip to the beach, intent on creating new memories in a picturesque setting. It had been far too long since they had a family vacation together, and the thought of sandcastles and sun-soaked laughter filled him with excitement. We should have a contest for the best sandcastle," Ellie suggested one evening at dinner, her eyes alight with enthusiasm. "And a seashell hunt. I want to collect the prettiest ones." "Count me in," Noah chimed in. Jack exchanged glances with Laura, whose smile mirrored his own eagerness. "Let's turn this into something special," Laura added. "We can pack picnic lunches, and I'll teach the kids how to make beach kebabs." Jack felt a surge of happiness at the enthusiasm in the room, as the planning unfolded long into the evening. They all collaborated, highlighting their excitement about stepping into adventures, cushioned by trust, joy, and togetherness. As the day of their trip approached, Jack felt a swell of gratitude for the life they were cultivating together, a life that was slowly becoming enriched by love and acceptance. And as they arrived at the beach, the sun kissed their skin, the sound of the waves crashing against the shore providing a soothing rhythm. Ellie and Noah raced ahead with their shovels and buckets, their laughter mingling with the reassuring roar of the ocean. Jack and Laura followed closely, not just as observers, but as active participants in the joy of the moment. In the sun-soaked embrace of the day, Jack built sand castles alongside the kids, feeling every grain of sand slip through his fingers like the moments of uncertainty and pain from the past. The laughter filled him with a warmth he had desperately needed, a reminder that healing was not just achieved through time, but created through connection. As the sun began to dip beyond the horizon, painting the sky with vibrant colors, Jack felt the magnitude of their journey wash over him. Moments of shared happiness, love, and laughter intermingled in a continuum, reminding him that despite the storms they had weathered, a brighter horizon awaited them. And while challenges would inevitably crop up on the journey ahead, Jack recognized they were heading into the future, hand in hand, ready to face whatever uncertainties lay beyond the waves. In that moment, surrounded by the warmth of his children and the companionship of Laura, he felt profoundly grateful for the love they had built, joyful and fortified against the world. This life was not just about survival. It was about thriving together, one day at a time.